What up everyone, it's your man X-Men 87 here, bringing you another Marvel Legends video, and what I have for you today is we're gonna have a Marvel Legends discussion video. But before we get into that, if you can please leave a thumbs up, like rating on the video, it'll help show your support for my channel and I greatly appreciate it. Now with that said, let's talk about it. So earlier today I had some downtime, I was eating my lunch and I was just thinking about the good old days of Marvel Legends. And then it occurred to me like, hey, what were the peak years of Hasbro's modern era of Marvel Legends? So I ran this post on my community tab on my YouTube channel, even on my Instagram, but I'm afraid those posts are gonna get buried. Not everyone's going to see it, so I figured, hey, I want to get as much people involved in this because it's fun to engage with y'all, and more activity on my channel is productive. And what I was trying to get at was basically, well, I'm just going to read you the post. And the post reads, I was evaluating the Marvel Legends lineup of 2023 this year compared to others, and I think this is the worst year of Marvel Legends in the modern Hasbro era. This is not to run a negative campaign, but I just want to get a feel for the community. What do you think were the peak years of Hasbro Marvel Legends? I think it peaked at 2019 to 2020. That lineup was the absolute strongest. Place your vote here or leave a comment. So the vote poll seems to agree with me that 2019 and 2020 were the peak years by a landslide, 72% out of 418 votes. Yeah, that was an absolutely incredible year, but before we get deeper into that, I didn't count 2014 because that was more of their revamp relaunch. That was a good year too, just to get its feet wet after the return of Marvel Legends, and then prior to that, the hiatus where they were just giving out exclusive 2-packs. But yeah, you had the Ultimate Goblin wave, you had an X-Men wave with Strife in it, that was super popular, the Jubilee Build-A-Figure wave, that was cool. So that year was more of them getting their feet wet of what's to come in the later years. In 2014, they started incorporating more of the split waves, that kind of formula, half comic, half movie. And, you had some pretty good offerings like the Mandroid Build-A-Figure wave. And you know what? It was working for them. It was successful at that time because the MCU was evolving and it was approaching its peak. But it wouldn't approach its peak till, 2018, 2019, I want to say, Infinity War and Endgame. But that's when the mixture was working, and then in the later years, we started getting like solid all comic book waves and then solid all MCU waves. So there was a nice balance of offerings. But I'm not going to take up too much time. That's a decade to cover. I could do a retrospect, but maybe one day I will, but that's going to take too long. So the first one I had up on the poll was 2015 to 2016, and man, those were special years. 2015 was good. We had that Rhino Build-A-Figure wave, all comic Spider-Man wave, and I really miss when they incorporated variants into the bath because you can get two different styles of Rhino, and I thought that was very cool, especially with like the shoulder pieces that you can add on or remove. I thought that was super dope. Then you had the Chameleon figure, and we had bonus heads to get different characters like J. Jonah Jameson and Hammerhead. Yeah, they updated Hammerhead a while ago, and while we all agree that wasn't like the right fit for him, it was still cool to have that option. Then 2015, who could forget the Pizza Spidey mold, man? That was, as much hate as it gets now, because obviously it's outdated, you can't deny how much fun that figure was when it first came out. Everybody and the mother was posting action figure photography pics of that Spider-Man. You would just continuously see it on your feed whenever you scroll on Instagram or Facebook, the ACBA groups or whatever. It was always right in front of you. And man, you know what? Still to this day, you can't take away that fun that I had posing with that figure. Then they would release the Symbiote. We had some good offerings with Spider-Man in 2015 and 2016. Those were some strong years, and then they finally gave us a long-awaited comic book X-Men wave. Since 2014, the Strife wave was 2014, right? So yeah, for a minute there was a while in 2014 after that wave. In 2015, like a whole year, there was no X-Men figures whatsoever. Some collectors thought that, because Fox owned the rights of the X-Men movies at the time, and Disney didn't, that we weren't gonna get X-Men figures, and even Marvel Comics was trying to stray away from X-Men. I believe that was around the time, right, when they did like X-Men versus Inhumans. Man, I don't remember. My memory's jogging. This lack of sleep is killing me. But anyway, what I wanted to say, 2016 was just a special year because, we had a full-fledged dedicated wave of X-Men figures, 8-figure wave, right? And you had Deadpool in it, which was, at the time, it was on the Bucky Cap mold, but at that time, Bucky Cap wasn't outdated. It was still accepted, and that figure came with a buttload of accessories. Oh my god, that was awesome. That's what we wanted to see. And you had the Juggernaut bath that was just absolutely phenomenal. The best Wolverine ever, at least as far as Buck is concerned. The body Buck was the best Wolverine body Buck ever put out. You had Rogue, you had that whole wave was just solid. I remember everyone being so excited when that wave came out. Everyone was sharing it. Even like the factory sealed boxes were being posted of pictures of that wave. Like, people were so excited they didn't even show the figures of the wave. They just showed a factory sealed box. So that's how you know when someone's excited. And man, I miss seeing that joy of the community. Everyone was just clamoring for that wave. Everyone was behind that wave. Oh man, that was good times. The Kitty Pryde in that figure had a Onslaught head, which later in 2016 they came out with the Onslaught Red Skull Onslaught Build-A-Figure wave, and you could put that Onslaught head onto that Onslaught bath body. And I just thought, again, there we go. We were getting cool things like that, like bonus accessories that you can make extra characters out of. We're not really getting that now anymore. Shield Army builders with 3 different heads. You could get your Nick Fury, your Dirk Anger, and a bunch of Shield agents. Oh man, that year again was just 2015 to 2016 was just special. It was a lot of fun. 2017 and 2018 was a pretty good combo. I will say, out of all the years that I posted on this vote poll, 2017 was my least favorite year. It was very MCU heavy, and I just remember having a lot of QC issues during that year, probably more than any other year that I've experienced with Hasbro Marvel Legends. But, however, despite being MCU heavy, I will say that 2017 is when they introduced the face print technology for the movie figures, because before, remember, those likenesses were god-awful, and it was about time we got the right likenesses to match the actors, and they were just making the MCU figures so much better. Yeah, 2017 I wasn't really feeling that much, but again, those face print technologies were blowing me away. And then the one standout for me was that X-Men Warlock wave. That was awesome. The dry brushing on that Warlock was just wow. Toy Biz level of details right there. That was absolutely gorgeous. We had our first ever Jim Lee Cyclops version in Marvel Legends, which, we never got a Jim Lee Cyclops in Marvel Legends ever before. The last one that was made wasn't even in the Legends line. That was pre-Marvel Legends. That was Toy Biz X-Men Classics, and that was just super scrawny. But Old Man Logan was popular. I remember people doing the mods of putting that Old Man Logan arms on the Cyclops and the jacket so he can have a bomber jacket. They later, made a bomber jacket version of Cyclops. But at the time, the community, we got to have our fun too. Sometimes we're impatient and we can't wait, and we just got to do it ourselves. Sunfire was the first to reuse that Spider-Man White Suit 2099 body, and it just became a popular body ever since in the line. despite anyone's gripes with the low shoulders, I get it. I understand. All I'm saying is the body buck was popular use-wise in the line. Oh, how can I forget? 2017 Army Builder packs, man. Those were so much fun. You got 2 packs of Army Builders, and you could just build and build and build. And oh, they had a ton of accessories, and the play factor was just at an all-time high there. But 2018 blew 2017 away. Holy crap. That X-Men Build-A-Figure wave of Apocalypse. We got our Tiger Stripe Wolverine that we wanted. Sabretooth being in Hyperion mold. It didn't make sense, and I'll tell you why it didn't make sense later. You had a Punk Storm, you had a different Magneto, you had Gladiator, who was a re-release or reissue from the San Diego Comic-Con wave, just with the non-metallic deco. And the Apocalypse Build-A-Figure was just, oh man, that was a beautiful figure. The metallic blue deco and, the flexible tubes, the face sculpt, it was beautiful. You had another X-Men wave. 2018 introduced the first Deadpool wave, which was cool. We had the Sasquatch wave. The first wave, gave us a classic Cable. The second wave is what really did it for me, because that Sauron Bath is hailed as one of the best baths ever. That's a top 20 Marvel Legends figure of all time for me, and they were just doing really cool stuff with Deadpool. And even prior to that, 2017, I remember HazCon became PostCon like a few years later. HazCon was like a little Hasbro convention that they hosted in Providence, Rhode Island. And they actually came out with a X-Force Deadpool, and it would come out with so many accessories. And you had a cool RPG with the letters that say Boom and Deadpool's logo. That was a cool paint deco. See, they were doing really cool stuff. Little blast effect for it. Deadpool always had cool accessories, the tacos and stuff that they gave him. So, having Lady Deadpool here, having Omega Red, which was an amazing stand down. That's what I was saying before is when I mentioned Sabretooth not making any sense, because in that same year you had Omega Red. Why wasn't Sabretooth on that Omega Red body? Which brings me to another wave in 2018. That was another standout, the Monster Venom Bath wave. Oh man, that Monster Venom Bath was absolutely amazing. And in that wave we had a Venom figure with the Eddie Brock head, and again, it was on the Hyperion mold. Why was, Sabretooth and Venom on Hyperion molds when you had Omega Red? All three of them should have shared the same body within the same year of release. Yeah, 2018 was just an amazing year, Marvel Legends. Great offerings. I wish I could go over every single one, but I'm trying to be time conscious here in this video. 2019 and 2020. Yes, these were the Hasbro modern era peak years. Definitely, hands down for me. 2019 was amazing. We had Beast, a $20 figure, okay, in that Caliban Bath wave that basically had every single articulation that an import has. I looked at it at the time, as a $20 import, because he had the drop down thighs, the toe joints, he had the double diaphragm joint, everything basically. Only thing he didn't have was like the lower ball jointed neck, but they weren't really doing those at the time. But I mean, come on, that articulation was flirting with import level. That was my absolute favorite Marvel Legends of that year. We got our first ever 90s Jubilee, Gambit was updated, even though I felt like he should have had a soft goods coat. But we had some pretty strong offerings in that wave, because that Caliban Bath body was so strong, and then sadly, man, that body was benched for a long time. I did not expect that body to be benched for as long as it was. And then, oh man, that Weapon X Wolverine, dude, like how awesome was that? That was when they were doing... Oh, it was so good. Wolverine absolutely killed it in 2019 and 2020. It was such a great year for Wolverine figures. Because remember, 2020, we had the Old Man Logan movie figure that came packed in with Professor X, which I had the privilege of doing photo shoots for Hasbro, doing the product shots for that. That was pretty freaking cool because that had the bloody claws. Like, that was never done before, you know. They were risky, man. That's the thing, they were putting blood in their figures too, you know. Not just with that Wolverine, we seen it with Heimdall, we seen it with I believe Wendigo had like a bloody mouth. They bloodied up Juggernaut too with that battle damage 2-pack. Oh man, that was great. And something super important that I can't forget to mention is that in 2019, we were able to complete our X-Men Blue and Gold Strike teams, man. And that was super important, giving us Professor X, the first comic Professor X, in his hover chair. Because he was in that vehicle series, so it was a perfect offering. And they even included a Shadow King head to put on your Kingpin body. See, this is what I'm saying. The good shit. Where's our good shit like this again? Giving us bonus characters. I loved when figures came packed in with bonus accessories for baths. It reminds me of the Archangel that came with the claw to add for the Apocalypse bath. It just added so much more play value to the baths and overall fun factor because it made you revisit those figures in a new way. Let's not forget about the Retro Spidey when they started introducing the Retro Spidey waves in 2020. He had that super ab crunch, which was, oh man, that Spidey was just super fun to pose. I remember everyone going crazy for that. I was in attendance of Toy Fair when they first revealed that figure, and I knew when I saw it on display, I'm like, yeah, this is it, man. This is the Spider-Man. You know, then Venom Pool Bath Wave. I love that wave so much because Venom Pool is... When I look at that bath, I'm like, wow. Did Toy Biz sculpt this? Because it had Toy Biz level of details in the sculpt. That thing was so sick. It was crazy. Every time I hold it, it's reminiscent of when I had that Pit Bath figure. And that was just... the level of details was just amazing. It just really needed a little bit more of a wash. But just... how beautiful those sculpted details came out. Wow. You just can't ignore it. You can't deny how amazing that figure was. And then we had that the movie Venom. That was such a great figure. Then we had vehicles too. Cosmic Ghost Rider, which I hail as one of the best ever. That figure is absolutely amazing. You had the Punisher with that vehicle. That was a great Punisher figure. War Machine, which was like, whoo, man. That figure was now that's a deluxe. That was packed in. You were getting new accessories. Look at that, man. Like, look at those accessories. It was new, and you know, nowadays they just keep recycling and rehashing the same accessories. Like, that's what I'm saying is, where's the creativity of accessories like we had in the past? Then we had the HazLab Sentinel, which I know he wasn't released in 2020, but he was revealed in 2020. And still, the buzz around that, the excitement, oh, the atmosphere, it was just pure pandemonium across the community. The fact that we have a Sentinel that can hold a figure completely with his hand was just amazing. The Raps of Tears, army building, the Sentinel Primes, that was awesome, man. All those tiers hit. The Tri-Sentinel head, the Master Mold head. Like, some people just backed one just to have a Master Mold to be a display centerpiece for their Marvel Universe Sentinels that were 16-inch. That's how I have them on my display. Yeah, I got 3 Sentinels, but I wanted to display that Master Mold next to my 16-inch Marvel Universe Sentinels because, to me, it's just like I added a new character onto my shelf. And just being bigger, it just fits the bill more. 2019 and 2020 were Hasbro's prime years of Marvel Legends. 2020 not only was the introductory of its first HazLab, but also marked the introductory of pinless tech for further advancements in the line. This was the cure for warping as it solved the gummy elbows and knees, something the line needed, and it made these figures look closer to imports by having smoother aesthetics. And that's what I'm saying, man. When it came to reveals, 2020 was just banger after banger after banger. And you look at 2023 and you see like the reveals, and each reveal just feels like gaga after gaga after gaga. And I'm just like, what happened to this line? And that's what brings me to 2021 and 2022. Now, 2021, I don't want to be too hard on because that was the year of the villains, and we got villains. Like, it was awesome to get an all villain wave. Like, we had a new classic Red Skull, much needed updated Lady Deathstrike. We finally got our first ever classic Thanos in the Marvel Legends line because so many people had the Marvel Selects Thanos to stand in with their Marvel Legends. So it was nice to actually have one within the line. And also 2021 was the reveal of the HazLab Galactus, the largest Marvel Legends ever made. That was, when I say largest Marvel Legends ever made, I mean from scratch. I'm not counting Stiltman, which was a clever bath. Because you can make them as tall as you want, army building the hand ninjas and just, stacking up those legs. Yeah, I know they get wobbly, the more you build on him, but still, the creativity, you can't deny, that was pretty clever. I like that, but yeah, Galactus to me is the greatest Marvel Legends figure ever made. That's just my opinion. And I love that they started focusing on more of the Fantastic Four, because I'm a huge Fantastic Four fan. But 2021 to 2022, that's when things started to decline. That's when you started seeing the prices slowly creeping up from $19.99 to $21.99 to $22.99. And then 2022, you just saw ridiculous prices to $24.99, $27.99, $33.99, $38.99, $43.99, and those prices you saw on some single figures and you're like, what the hell? Then we had the HazLab Engine of Vengeance reveal that further plummeted that decline. Everyone was seeing how much Hasbro was ripping off the fans with this line. The introductory of windowless packaging and the figures being covered in egg rolls. QC factory failure checks was at an all-time high. And they were just abusing the prices and making everything overpriced, giving us way less and costing way more. They definitely priced collectors out of the hobby. Anyways, 2022, I mean, we had some good Spider-Man stuff too. Again, overpriced, but we got like that Venom and Knoll 2-pack, good figures despite the price. I really like those figures. Amazing Fantasy Spider-Man, which I think was like the best buck for Spider-Man. I really like it on that Amazing Friends one the most. And, Renew Your Vows Spider-Man, that is super popular. I love posing figures on that body. And that figure also marked the return for toe joints in the line. But besides the price hikes and all the other downsides that I mentioned, 2021 to 2022 really had a very shit list of character selections, and it was just plagued with nothing but Disney Plus bullshit. Oh my god. People are already burnt out by the MCU, and then you bring out the Disney Plus shows, which were like slow as hell. I don't care what Kevin Feige said that Disney Plus was going to be the future of the MCU. Bro, you are so wrong, because them shows did not progress anything for the MCU. If anything, you just created more superhero fatigue. What's crazy is that the movies and the shows didn't cause me superhero fatigue. It was the amount of MCU figures we were getting in Legends that caused freaking superhero fatigue for me. That, you had Eternals, man, they were so bad. So I'm hearing that we're not going to get as much content like Disney Plus shows for Marvel and Star Wars and even movies. Okay, that's fine. That's good that it slows down, so that hopefully means that the Marvel Legends line can slow down with movie figures, because we need more all-new scopes for comic figures. There are now more Disney Plus waves than comic Iron Man waves. Let that sink in. It sucks that we're getting the same damn bodies from 8 to 10 years ago being used for comic figures and not all new scopes. So I really hope that Hasbro cuts back, just like Disney is with their properties, cut back on movie figures and give us more all new scopes for comic figures. I think that's the best thing we can wish for going beyond 2023 into 2024. So yeah, 2022 definitely set up 2023 to be the worst year for Marvel Legends in the Hasbro modern era. And it felt so good to reflect on the good old days. I miss the good old days where I was just excited for every reveal. And now it's just like every reveal, I'm just disappointed. I just don't feel as excited as I once was during the good old days. It's hard for me to be excited when they're putting out utter crap. But again, this is not to run a negative campaign. Don't get it twisted. Even though I ranted, you know, I had my reasons for it, but this is more for like feel good vibes of your favorite times during Marvel Legends, because I miss the good old days, man. I really do. And it was just so much to cover, and I know I missed a lot of things within those years. Maybe one day I'll do a retrospect, like I said, but there are some things that I missed, like for instance, 2018 with their 10-year anniversary line for the MCU and the 80th anniversary line. Those comic offerings were absolutely amazing. And actually 80th anniversary was 2019. My bad, I messed up. But yeah, 2019, 2020, see, they're undisputed. You know, even first time waves like X-Force, you know, that Nightcrawler was amazing, man. Yeah, you know, there are some things I missed, and probably one of the years where they started doing vehicles again. But feel free and point out anything that I missed that you like during one of those peak years. Like, I'm really trying to stay positive. It's just hard to stay positive when they're just piling caca on top of caca this year. And you guys know that I am a diehard Marvel Legends fan. I've been collecting the line since 2002. So yeah, I'm still with this line, you know. I invested so much in it. I'm not just gonna quit. Again, that's the meaning of a diehard fan, okay? Like, I just think of it like sports, all right? I'm a diehard New York Yankees fan until I die. Until I die. So no matter if they win or lose, I'm still sticking with them. They're not having that good of a season because Aaron Judge is out. But you know what? I'm still holding out hope. I'm still a fan. I'm still going to support my team no matter what, through thick and thin. So yeah, Marvel Legends will still have my support through thick and thin. But when they win, and it feels so rewarding, like your favorite sports team winning that championship and bringing it home. And that's what I want to feel. I want to feel this line winning. So I had to use sports to describe my passion for the line. And now I kick it back to you. What were your peak years of Marvel Legends? Please share them in the comments below. I want to know. Let's reminisce about the good old days. Thank you for watching another Marvel Legends related video. Please follow me on Instagram if you haven't already at X-Men87. Hit the notification bell so you always know when my latest videos are up. Share and subscribe if you're new. See you on the next video. Peace, peace.